So this is the second video, and we want to kind of start where we left off, and we want to talk about human population growth and how many people can the Earth support. And bottom line, we're talking about carrying capacity, and we really don't know what that is. Although all we do know, and these numbers kind of mirror the ones that I screwed up on earlier in the last video, but that's okay, is that the past 200 years, rapid growth has taken place. Since the 1960s, the human population growth has slowed, but it's still growing. And it's not evenly distributed over the planet, growing 14 times faster in undeveloped countries. And some of the biggest growth right now is sub-Saharan Africa. And so it's not equal in every place. And then increasingly people are moving to urban areas, and by 2050 they expect 2/3 of all people to live in some type of city, and we'll talk about that in the fourth video. All right, so current human rate is about 1.2%, adding about 1,622 people per minute, and that's from Miller. That number varies, depends on who you're talking to. Miller's book came out a couple years ago. It might be down to 1.14, I think is the new number. But 1.2 is fine. Maybe that's the number you need, and people per minute. Maybe that's what you need from this right here. Population of the world is currently growing at the rate of 10.5% per year. So it is definitely slowing, and the average increase is 81 million people per year. 81 million per year. That's amazing. That is, and I think they're all trying to park in Mount Sac. Life is rough. Okay, so here's what I want to make sure you understand. Any ecological unit has a limited or definite carrying capacity. Okay, again, another Vogel principle we want you to know. Nothing can grow exponentially forever. Resources will die. Bacteria will do that. It'll explode, take off, use up all its resources and die. Insects will do this. We have locusts and all these things go through these breeding patterns, but they end up dying. So there is a carrying capacity. There is a certain amount that the planet can sustain. All right, and then the other one, what you need to know is human population growth and increased consumption must give way to stability and equilibrium in order for societies and cultures to continue. So I added this principle here because not only about human population growth, which is extremely important, but it's also how much we use, and that's kind of where we're going to next in our chapters that we have put together, and the reason we teach in the order we do. We're going to talk about food and use and things like that, and we'll talk about that also in the Zoom. So what factors influence the size of a population? It's birth minus deaths. For local populations, then you also take in migration, which is immigration coming to the country, or emigration leaving the country. I had to laugh. We were in class one time, and I asked what the word was for people coming in, and they were immigration. And then I asked the class, what was the term that we use for people leaving the country, and somebody yelled out deportation. And unfortunately, that may be true, but that is not the term we were looking for. So anyway, I want you to know TFR, and that is total fertility rate. The average number of children born to women is the key factor in determining population size, and so it's total fertility rate. So how many kids are we having? And actually the number has dropped from 5 to 2.5, so we've cut that in half, which is great. And the number would need to drop to 2.1 for the population to stabilize. So I want to make sure you understand what that means. Is the idea behind this is how many kids can you have, and we'll talk about this in Zoom. It's really 2. If everybody was to have 2 children with their partner, that would stabilize population growth. And that is one to replace you, and then one to replace your partner. Now you can't go out, I'm going to have multiple partners, so I'm going to have one with you and one with you and one with you. That's not how it works. But the idea is that you have one to replace you, one to replace your partner, and that would leave us to zero. Now you see the number is 2.1, and that is because of mortality rate of people of individuals that do not reach reproductive age. So that does happen. So the number has to be slightly higher than 2. 2.1 magic number. All right. So the U.S. population, again, these numbers kind of shown before. The baby boom, the baby boomers you've talked about, they're getting older, and kind of what we call the graying of America. But the baby boom period of high birth rates, 79 million people were added to the U.S. population. The U.S. Census Bureau, which they're still trying to count people, I think that's just about over, projects that the U.S. population will grow to 398 million people by 2050. And it's amazing. And here they're comparing numbers from the 1900s and the year 2000. Life expectancy, one of the reasons that populations are growing, used to be 47 years. Now the average age is 77. Married women working outside the house, 8%, now 81%. High school graduates, 15%, now 83%. Home with flushing toilets, you guys can't even imagine that. Homes with electricity, look at 2% in 19, all the way up to 99. People living in suburbs, 10, we're heading toward 50%, or we're past 50%. Hourly manufacturing job wage, $3.15, and then homicides, not great, 1.2 to 5.8. So that number, unfortunately, did not go down. And that's it. That's it for this recording. So.